Hi, this is Paul from the Tech Modeler channel in regards to my updates on my JAGDPANTHER 137 Astof G1, the early production model with ZIMMERIT, and the kit number is 6494. And just to show you a little bit there she is, and that's all the details you need on there on the box. There you go. So as you can see, I've got a bit further. Now I didn't show it in its primer stage, and basically the primer I used was the same as I used on the actual little 148 scale Storm Tiger. And so what I used is the same Tamiya fine surface primer, aerosol cans, and sprayed them in my spray booth and done a bit. What I found though is the worst thing about overspray with any aerosol can is the fact that all the small overspray bits dry up into little dusty areas. So next time I will most probably on a nice day go out and use this aerosol can outside and spray it in the garden, and then bring it back in and let it dry in the aerosol in the actual spray booth. So that's the only downside of using any aerosol can, is the fact the overspray becomes dusty, because as the particles get further away they dry as little pigments, colour pigments, and then when you go in there and if you have a little tissue, which I did at the end after it had been dry overnight, I went in there and it just got grey all over it when it was all dry dust. So I had to actually clean this spray booth out a little bit before I went back in there with any other colours. But of course, but I could have used the MRP primer, because I've been using MRP paints and they're lacquer based, and so you have to. I wear a mask, and as well as the me spray booth, just to make sure that I don't infect my lungs. And with lacquer paints, they are regarded as a hot product. But I do like them because the pigments in them are ink-like, and you can get a nice thin coat, and you don't lose any detail. It seems to be more crisper. But I haven't gone away from my Vallejo paints, because I still love those as well. So they will still get their use, but I'm just playing around with MRP at the moment. I think it's going to be really good for aircraft, because aircraft, when you want to do that fine spray modelling. Now this particular vehicle is going to receive a camouflage of red and brown, obviously. Well, not obviously, but you know what I mean. And the vehicle I'm going to be doing, excuse me, is one from France, from 654 unit in France in 1944. And it's a three colour scheme, sorry. And it's going to be this one. I'm going to show you on this visa. I don't know if this is going to work, but there she is, that one there. And it's got the 314 side bit on the side, and it's in black. I've got Panther in red, and I thought myself I had a little change. Now I was going to go with that, but the point is, because I put the box on the back and added some few details different to that, so I've gone with this one in the middle there, which is as I said earlier on, unit. Here we go. Let's get it. 654. And it's a third company basically, and it's the numbers are in black with white and surroundings. It probably would fit in nice with what colours I'm going to be doing. Now I've added all the tools, and the definition on all the tools, because it's fine paint, is still there, crisp as well. What I did though is pre-shade. I did a bit of pre-shade, and you can see, I think you can definitely see the pre-shading, and I used Panzer Grey for that. And it's an MRP Panzer Grey, and again, this is the MRP paint I'm talking about. Now this jar's got a bit grimy because I had a little bit of a spillage on it, but that's done on a few models now. This is dark yellow, and it's MRP 30-37, and it's a German World War II armoured fighting vehicles, and it's a rail number 7028. And I use that as the base colour. But what I did first, after I'd done the Tamiya fine primer all over the vehicle and all over the road wheels as well, they were all done as well. I've only got 3 road wheels in shot now, because all the others are in the spray booth area, because they've got to have a bit more work done on them in regards to painting. So I've already done the other side as well, and you might be able to see that as well. I've done the other side, and the way I got the road wheels, because I didn't have the quick mast, and I thought I had one. I have sent for one, because it's easier to do loads of wheels in one go if you can. But I spent a bit of time in the spray booth with all those wheels, because you've got 8 of each type of wheel, plus the sprocket and idler, and I use this, and it's been used before by other modelers, and I'm not saying that I've done it, but I've used this. It worked out really well. The only good thing about the MRP pen, I didn't have no sticking and spitting, so therefore I could actually have the paint in the brush, keep putting the brush down, take the wheel out, put a new wheel into this hole, and as you can see, I've taped over that just to prevent overspray everywhere else. And I've left it like that for now, just in case I need it for spraying some lighter colours. Because I've got two other MFP colours, and I won't say what names. I'll tell you them when I use them, if I use them. And they're basically two different other shades of the same colour. And you can mix it, but I thought myself, this in a bottle, I only need a little bit for the other colours, just to do a little bit of lighting up on the surface. You could call it some semi-modulation, but I used anyway. But so what I did is, this is a base colour of Rail Colour 2028. Over the vehicle underneath. You can see all the chassis as well. If I turn it around, you can see what I mean. And it's got a bit of a gloss on it. That's okay, because that will actually do the decals really nice, because it's a semi-gloss paint. And then I shall actually do a satin over the top of it. And then I'll be going in with oils like I do every other time. But I think you can see what I mean. I've done the chassis as well. And I don't know if you can see the shadows under there. And then you can see shadows from the lights going down there. I wasn't too worried about the axles, because obviously I'll be gluing wheels on those, so that's not a problem. And I think you can see what I mean by the pre-shading all round on the grills and everything. And that's really good. Now, if you do put the grills on, I think I might mention it last week, I actually place them down. But I actually used super glue on one of these brushes, which I've got here, and put it all over, rubbed it all over the actual grill area, and then placed it down as quickly. The good thing, by using this glue, ZIMMERIT glue, it doesn't dry very quickly. It is a quick drying cement, but it gives you a little bit of plate on, and we're only talking seconds really, but it's extra seconds over the instant glue where you tap it down and then you've got to peel it off if you can put it in the wrong place. So that's the glue I use. So there you go, you can see that all that pre-shading on the back. I've got to go in with the exhausts as well. Now I'm doing some bit of read up on the exhausts, because I know for a fact there's two exhausts there, and the other two are like these two pipes over here, evidently to do with air. So I don't think they would have rusted quite anywhere near as much. People show them rusted up. I'm going to do some more research on that before I go any further, so that's okay. And I can check on that, because I've got another JAGDPANTHER to build later on, the late version. And one thing you'll notice, there's no spare tracks here. I've put the pins in because I get some lovely plastic pins. They're very fine. You have to go very careful with them while you're doing it, but basically they look really nice. And if I don't think I'm going to zoom in. No, I won't. Well, I don't know. I might be able to. Let's give it a go. No, it's not going to allow me to zoom because it's a setting I've got it on. But anyway, but inside I've got the little pins inside, and what I'll do is I might try and do a couple of close-up photographs and put it, attach it to the video at the end. I haven't done that for a while. So there you go. So basically you can see what I've done, but there's no spare tracks there. Now I actually tried to fit the spare tracks on there, and to be honest they wouldn't fit into you and allow you to put the pin down, and to be honest that was a problem for me, and I tried them both ways. So I thought myself, perhaps if I do it, turn them upside down sort of thing, but it didn't work, so I decided to go with it as it is. Now I also took out the throw model tracks, because I've got the late throw model tracks that I'm going to be building up over the weekend for this kit, and I tried to put a couple of those up to it, or just one of them, just to see if it would fit, and even that wouldn't fit into that bit to do it. So it might be something I'm doing, but I'm not going to correct that now. I'm just going to say that although the brackets are there, they never actually put the spare track on, or you could say they've been used at some point as spares and they haven't replaced them. So that's what I most probably have to say. Because of that thing, I didn't want to muck about and break it all up to try and fit tracks on it, and then they look as if they have just been stuck on, because I prefer to look at as near as possible as it can do. So that's why there isn't any spare track links. But all the other tools and bits and pieces went on there really well. I'm quite happy with that. But you can see the pre-shade. I don't think you can see the pre-shade. I actually did some grey down this way as well when I was spraying, and with a fine airbrush, and it left a nice thing. And then I went over and built the coat, the base colour by going lightly spraying around the vehicle, not doing a concentrated colour. I just built up the colour slowly, building it up slowly, so you can still see through the paint, and it gives you that shadowy look about the vehicles. And it could be as if the vehicle's under trees, I suppose, when you think about it. But I think you can see what I mean there. Even on the bottom, you can see I've done stripes of the black, and then sprayed the colour over it, and then went round all the hatches and bits and pieces for actual oil changes and God knows what, maintenance, all these hatches underneath, and went round with it round there, and then sprayed over it very lightly all over. and it was the same on the boxes as well. I think you can see that as well. I think that because it's a slightly got a slight sheen to the paint, it actually is being reflected by my lights. But I think you can see what I'm after there, what I mean by that. So that's where I've got to so far. I've actually drilled that aerial bracket out, so it goes into the actual box itself. And I've got some same areas I used for the Storm Tiger. It's what they call it, carbon fibre aerials. So they've got a nice whip on them. I've used some broom bits and pieces in the past, but this one I'm going to use the actual whip area for that as well. So that'll be put on later. Now the next job I'm doing this morning, before I do anything else, will be actually to do the periscopes, because I actually mask over the glass areas, top and bottom, on both the inner and the outer, even though you won't see the inner, because I made a bit of a boo-boo. I was going to put the whole side, this actual upper hole to the lower hole, and glue them in place already, so they were in place. The only problem I had with that is I accidentally, in a moment of ageism, I actually glued this in place on the top, which was separate, and that would have been much more easier for me to do. But it doesn't matter. I still can get in from underneath now, and I've already taped over the areas where the glue's going to go to hold the top on, and the fit is really snug as a bug, as it were. So it's going to be okay. And there's two brackets for the actual tow cable that go on the back here and here, which is on the top. I put those on, and I had to take them off. And so they will have to be attached afterwards, because when I tried to put the upper hole to the lower, the brackets were in the way. So they will be put on later anyway, so there won't be a problem, because I can actually go in with an airbrush very close and touch it all up and make it mix in with the vehicle. So that's as far as I've got. So anyone who's got one of these things, they're really handy to use. Like I said, the less wheels you've got to do, the better it is with this, but I can still do it easy enough by doing it. You can see what I mean. I pushed them up through the inside, so look, if I do this, I think you'll see it. See, there you go. You push it up, you get it in there, and that's it. And perfect match. And then I sprayed into that circle, as you can see with the spray around there. And there you go. So, but I'm not cleaning this up just yet, because I know full well that I want to go back in with the spray gun for a slightly lighter shade, pre-shading, sort of a faded look on some of the wheel as well. So, and I can use that and still not getting my tyres too dirty. And then basically it'll be about mudding up the chassis after I've got this bit on. When I've done the periscopes, basically they will be fitted into place, and then I will actually put some little bit of tape over the top of them to actually mask them up for the camouflage side of spraying and the oil painting. So that'd be pretty much straightforward. Hopefully that'd be okay. Right then, so I think I'm going to call that a day on this, and thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll give you another update this sometime towards the end of next week. So there you go, because those through tracks are going to take a little while to build, as you can guess. So there you go. I could use the kit ones, they look okay, but I do like the fact you get that lovely sag you get with through tracks. So there you go. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you found this interesting, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.